It matter?
Doesn't matter, really. It doesn't matter because the reality of it is the opportunity is the same for me and more importantly for the club. I've said before, whatever happens beyond tomorrow is kind of irrelevant when you think about the opportunity that exists right now, and that is to provide something special for this football club and for the supporters and for everyone who's worked so hard, not just this year, but for the last, however years, 15, 16 years been for a trophy and 41 years for a European trophy. I think that, if I was worried about my tenure at this football club, fair to say we wouldn't be in this position because I would have been distracted long ago. I'm pretty good at just sort of making sure that all my focus is on, giving this football club the best opportunity it has had for a while to do something special. And whatever happens after that, mate, I'm very, very comfortable that I'll continue on trying to win trophies wherever I am.
The hierarchy in the football club.
My future is assured, mate. Wouldn't be the first person who changes jobs, mate. We all change jobs. I'm sure you've had more than one job. My future's assured. I've got a beautiful family. I've got a great life. I'll keep on winning trophies till I finish, wherever that is. So don't worry about my future, mate. My future is not entwined with anything, right? My future is assured, provided, God willing, my health remains and my beautiful family is beside me and my friends. There's nothing wrong with my future, mate. Don't stress, mate.
I meant specifically...
Sleep easy at night.
I will try.
I'll be okay.
I will try. But I meant specifically at Tottenham. Is there a scenario where you win the trophy and you think, actually, my job is done here?
No, because I don't think my job is done here. We're just, I really feel like we're building something, and what a trophy does is hopefully accelerates that. So I still think there's a lot of work to be done. That's quite obvious with the way we've sort of, the challenges we've had this year, which I think are well chronicled. But I think there's some reasoning in that, in the context of that. But also there's been some growth that I'd like to see through. But whether that happens or not it's not that important right now. But I don't think, no, far from think this job's finished, and I certainly feel like there's some growth there that we can take this club to where it needs to be.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That depends on your outlook, Dan, but I'll tell you one thing, irrespective of tomorrow, I'm not a clown. I never will be, mate. And you're really disappointed that you would use such terminology about a person who, for 26 years, without any favours from anyone, who's worked his way to be in a position where he's leading out a club in a European major competition, for you to suggest that somehow us not being successful means that I'm a clown. Not really sure how to answer that question. Yeah, hopefully that 101st blows tomorrow, mate, not on Sunday. It's hard to sort of kind of contextualise sort of the challenges of the last couple of years. I guess from my perspective, I came into the club with some pretty clear objectives about what the priorities were for the club in terms of taking over. Tried as hard as I can to kind of stick to that process of getting the club to a position where, they can challenge for trophies and at the same time rejuvenate a squad and change the playing style. It's been a fair assignment, and without its, plenty of challenges along the way. But I guess with such a sort of big game tomorrow, there is an opportunity to kind of fulfil at least the main task I was sort of given, and that is to bring trophies to the club.
Next season, Champions League.
As you said, great prize. The significance of Champions League qualification, what it means for every football club to get into the Champions League. It's there are the obvious benefits, but also you get the opportunity to play against the best in the continent. But the club's been in the Champions League before. Hasn't won a trophy for a long time, so that's the most important bit.
To play?
Team U's pretty much the same as last week. No, Lucas isn't available, so pretty much the same as we were as of last week.
Motivate to the younger players in squad.
Yeah, massive to get Sonny back. You know, we were a little bit worried when he picked up the injury because we just weren't sure, you know, how long he was going to be out for. But he worked so hard and to make sure he was back, and really pleased the other night to see him, you know, play 60, 70 minutes, and you could see his sharpness is coming back. But he's so important to the group. He's so important as a leader. He's such an important figure at this football club, and you know it's a big motivation and driver for all of us, including me, to you know to give him a trophy that his career deserves. You know, because again, he's a guy who's come from the other side of the world. Not many players have come from Asia, and it's stayed in the Premier League, the top league in the world for so long, maintaining that excellence. And it would be great to kind of, you know, cap that off with a trophy for him. But he knows, and we all know that we've still got to do the work. He's been in this position before, obviously with the Champions League final, so he has that experience, and I'm sure he'll pass that on to the players.
We've only got time for 2 more, so we'll go.
Is it true?
Yeah, I have to be careful about, you know, who I support, because maybe I'll coach in Brazil one day and they'll tell me, and I end up, I don't know, it's Corinthians or something, and it'll cause me problems. Firstly, Richie, so pleased for him because he's had a tough time, Richie, not just this year, but since he's been at Tottenham. You know, he's had some injury problems. He's never really had a stretch of games, but, you know, and it's been very tough on him, both physically but also emotionally. But he's in a really good place now. Physically, he's worked really hard on his fitness, and you know, he plays with so much passion and determination. Richie, you know, every time he plays, he just gives 100%. He has quality as well, and it's great to have him in the team. I think you know, for us, he provides something different to our other attacking players. He's already made a big impact for us in the Europa Cup, and particularly in the semi-final. And just really pleased for him that through all the difficult times he's had, he's now in a place where he's fit, he's available, and you know, he's excited about contributing. And yeah, I've always loved Brazilian football. I actually played against Vasco da Gama in 1985. They came to Australia, and Roberto Dinamite was playing at the time, and I got his shirt, and I still have it. So every time I visited Brazil, there's always an association with Vasco. Obrigado.